Okay, our next speaker will be Yeli Aguirre. She's had 20 plus years in various industries like commercial real estate, business development, marketing for Fortune 500 companies. She's a Hispanic female business owner from South Florida, and she opened her consulting business to work with companies she believes like Top Doctor and Midwest Legacy Group. She's representing Top Doctor magazine as its business development manager, and she is a biohacking advisor for the Top Doctor magazine and Top Doctor clinics, being the voice and the face for the brand. She's also a life insurance agent with Midwest Legacy Group, who Top Doc has sponsored to give no particular talk today. Our speaker that comes from the same group, Christopher Gandy, he couldn't make it, so this morning she told me that he couldn't make it today. I was so forward-looking to meeting him because I heard he's 7 foot, and I was going to update my picture, you know? What about the height? So in any case, as soon as she mic up, I would like to invite Yeli to the stage. Please give her a round of applause.
All so much. Thank you, Dr. Emily Letran. It is such a pleasure to be here. What a powerhouse. My goodness, what a wonderful event. To really be able to meet one of the doctors that are on our magazine, the Top Doctor magazine. It's always a special pleasure because we understand why these are top doctors. When you get to meet them in person and you see what they do and how they really influence others to be able to excel and get that other opportunity to, really express what it is that they're doing in the medical field, but how they're able to inspire others. So, I've had so many moments today and throughout this weekend meeting you all and seeing why you're here and being able to be part of this event. So I'm very grateful. And I also have to say there are no coincidences, only co-creating incidents. We are collaborating, and sometimes the plans that we set are not always the way that they're going to work out. And sometimes those moments are the best moments. So I'm preparing right now to be able to give you a little bit of an idea of, well, first of all, who I am. So if you don't mind, I'm going to just take a few minutes because a message always comes through better when you understand who's delivering that message, right? So like I said, there are no coincidences. I got to see so many beautiful speakers here who, I saw a theme, an immigrant background, rags to riches kind of story. And I think to myself, and you kind of forget when it's you living your story, but I guess I'm that immigrant as well because I'm undercover Latina. As she was saying, that I do have my own business because it's something that I wanted to be able to align, to have the ability to be able to align with companies that I was passionate about and not feel like I had to do something. It's not what you have to do, it's what you get to do. And what you get to choose to be with and who you get to be with, of course, and what you get to do. So that to me was a big thing. My mom's Cuban, my dad's from Costa Rica. So I am, like I said, undercover because I do Spanish with my first language. And I've worked very hard all my life, did many different industries. Because of course, seeing those family members working so hard, you thought that was the only way to do it. You gotta hustle, you gotta come up with a plan. And I worked very hard, and now I understand that a positive attitude is the basis of self-development. It is something that's helped me very much to find these different aspects. So one of the big things that I've lined up with is Top Doctor magazine. Top Doctor magazine, Top Doctor clinics, they're all into wanting to spread health, wellness, sharing regenerative medical techniques. We want to help doctors and their practices to be successful. A lot of doctors get in the industry to be able to up-level and help patients, but then they don't really know how to be able to really run a practice. So we've aligned with different business conferences to see what are the best marketing, what are the best either devices or procedures or things that they're going to be able to elevate the practice. So that was one thing. I also saw another need which is on the financial side. So a lot of people have not really been taught what the leverage of how to be able to really excel in finances. So I saw during the pandemic, a lot of people in need of insurance, because nothing worse than someone passing and then being able to see that they weren't able to even afford the care after that. And it ran and made a lot of people be able to understand really the importance of the insurance, but not just on that end. Insurance was made to be able to use while you're alive, but we weren't really taught that. and how to leverage it to be able to really maximize the best results for you and your family, to leave a natural legacy and have cash that you'd be able to, is it coming off? No? Okay. All right, to leave a legacy. So with that being said, this is the company, it's Midwest, I'm gonna scoot off to the side here. It is Midwest Legacy Group. Now, Christopher Ganny is a wonderful, he's actually gonna be speaking at another event. He had missed this flight, so they were so booked, so close, that there was no way he was gonna make this one and the other one as well. So of course, me being here and being really available to all of you and getting to meet everyone, I saw the benefits of being able to go through the presentation, because this is definitely one of those add values. So even if you take away just a tidbit from this, planting the seed to be able to ask for more questions, that's the only thing. So as you can see, I am here to be able to kind of go through this really quick, so that way we can be able to understand. So financial planning can easily take the backseat of your life. So a lot of the planning that we do, it is not, we've just been whatever it is our family has left. And if they left us a great blueprint on success, then that's great, it's easy to follow. But many of us didn't have that. I didn't have that set up for myself growing up. I just saw the struggle and the working hard and the money never being enough. And had these things been set in place, it would be a much different situation. So we want to try and leave that legacy. You already have wonderful ideas and wonderful opportunities that you've been putting down through your careers and all of that. This is the main thing, is being able to see, how can I keep that money that I already have, and how can I make it grow? And then you definitely want to be able to see, besides keeping it and making it grow, don't lose it out to taxes. Who likes to pay their huge tax bill at the end? Who wants to be able to see an opportunity where they can justifiably, because it's all about, paying our fair share, but really, if you're able to master the game, let's find out the rules so that you know how others are mastering the game. Because it shouldn't be one of those things where it's a blind game. It's kind of like, here you go, here's a card game. It's like, what are the rules? It's like, I win. No, that's it. It's like, I just play and I win. But you have to play, and you might lose, but I win. So we're here to all find out what the rules are, so we're all winning. So that's me. So this is a little bit on Chris Ganny, and this is one of the reasons we aligned with him. And that's why I felt comfortable being able to put my license under this company, because I saw the importance of really trusting who it is, not only the money-wise, but that they're actually doing something and they have a legacy, that they've proven it. Now this guy's an impressionable. He is 7 feet tall. He used to play for the Chicago Bulls. He's quite a presence. So he definitely caught my attention, besides the visual, of course. But it was really his record and being able to see this, and then a knowledgeable person. So please take this information, because what we're going to be doing is kind of, as I'm going through this, so that you understand, this is not the questions. I'm not the pro, I'm not an attorney, I'm not the financial planner. I am someone that is a life insurance agent that can speak on the benefits of having life insurance, the way it's used as a tool, how the rich use it constantly to be able to make money moves. You want your money making money while your money's making money. So this is compounding interest. And we weren't really taught that game before. So this is a little bit on him, so please get that information so you know who he is. So taxes are due. We already know this. We know when it is, yet it's always a shock at the end of the year when it starts rolling around that time frame. So this is to be able to get you don't want to write that large IRS check. So we have financial planners who are able to give you ideas on how to be able to do it, how to implement it, how best to be able to really serve your family and your business. Because remember, when you're able to save that money, you're a conduit for blessings, really, because now you have more to be able to give, either for your charities, either for any of your employees, bonuses, things like that. I mean, if you don't have it and you're just giving it to the IRS, have you ever gotten a thank you card from the IRS? I mean, thanks for doing business. I'll see you again next year. Hope you spend some more. Like, these are the kind of things that we just blindly go through because I'm like, well, the other one paid that much. Yeah, I'm used to paying, I've heard this, $500,000. Would you want to pay half of that? How about even maybe a quarter of that? So these are those things, it's like you don't have to continue doing what you've done. That's what insanity. It's like you can't expect different results if you keep doing the same things you've done before. So this is where we're setting you up, putting an actual plan in place, and when you have a real professional in your corner. So this was important. What did your parents teach you about money? Let's not even go with my parents taught me about money. It was like, there's never enough, you can't have that, that costs too much. All of this limiting beliefs that we started setting up, as an adult, you don't realize how that's still impacting you. So there is a lot that we've done. Oh, it's safer in the bank, or, keep it there. That 0.5% interest is so good for you, The different things that we've really been led to believe are not really, as even when we found out from fitness and nutrition, are no longer the case. So time to change our financial dictionary. So we're going to be able to give you more education. Oh, and there went. All right. So let's just keep it good. Let's see if it goes. Is it good there?
Yeah.
Okay, I can just hold it like that. All right, so let's see. Doesn't look, I don't think I need my phone. I can pretty much got my notes. All right, so let's see. So we've got the difference between the pension plans and the deferred benefit. I'm sorry?
Defined benefits.
Defined benefits plans, thank you. So there are differences through those. This is where Chris is going to be able to be the financial expert. He'll be able to take you everything through the call. And then just no last minute surprises. I know we have a tax person in the audience, so I do appreciate, I'm sure you're going to be able to see some of the different things there too. So just the product of being successful, he put in some of these filler ones. What can we do? Obviously, I wish we could know our future, but we can really create what we want our future to look like by the decisions we make today. So this is very much the important. We can't expect to get to the road if we're not looking on the map, where to our destination. So definitely having a road track to success is going to be laid out to you. There's going to be different ways to be able to get there, and he'll be able to express further on those. So here is a great example, just so that you can actually see of what money would look like. So if you had that gross income, you had your expenses, of course, there's two versions of accountants. There's the bean counter, like they like to say, where it's just like, okay, this is how much you made, okay, this is how much you're gonna pay in taxes. That's it. There was no creativity there. There was no like, oh, maybe we can try this different, approach. You've got an IP, you've got knowledge. Let's try doing a course so that way there's something that you can be able to benefit. Like there's so many different areas that you can be able to maximize. And if you're used to that, then we'll definitely work with, and I'll say we because since I am part of the life insurance, not the benefits side, he would be able to work with you to be able to see either your professionals. It's not to replace anyone that you're already working with if it's someone that you feel comfortable with, but definitely to have that outside eye. You can't really see the frame. If you're not standing, if you're inside of it, you want someone else to look out and be looking out for you too. So that net income will be that 600. The taxes are the 220. You've already paid 120,000. You can pay paying $30,000 per quarter, you've already paid $120,000, you still owe $122,000. Okay, so what would it look like with a new strategy in place? So if you know you already have that 122 taxes owed, you did the deferred benefits plan, and they're able to put in $248,000 if you're married 496, they put it into the plan. Now your tax is reduced by $52,000. Could you do something with $52,000? I don't know. Vacation? Yeah, I thought that too. Maybe a movie night for all your best clients. Yeah, there you go. But this is money that was just been given away. Like I said, you're not getting no thank you cards from IRS. So then that would be a reduction of 43%. I mean, it does sound like a lot, but it sounds even more that it was just going to be paid blindly. So here you are, your contribution for the 10 years. It's just showing you a little bit of what that money would look like. So it's redirected. Now you're able to have use of it. Now these are the different, this is the laws that protect the qualified plans. I'm gonna have to read you, but please feel free to take a quick picture. You'll be able to express more on why you're being protected, because a lot of people with everything, how things change, how quickly things change, there are some things that can't change. So especially when it's a law. So you've got your Internal Revenue Service, you know that they're gonna be out there. I know that this was a bit scary. They did put a lot of people out there to be able to start looking, fine-tuning on our taxes to try and see, oh, did you really do that mileage? Did you really go out to dinner and it was business? You know, so there's going to be a lot of that going on. If you can cut your tax bill half for the next 10 years, what would your wealth look like? Now, the IRS won't even send you the thank you card, which is very true. And why would you not do it? So that's one of the big things. Tax-free, it's easy to set up. So this is one of the other benefits as well. This is great. This is where I would definitely want you to take a picture of this, because there's so many benefits that we weren't told of how an insurance policy, what it can actually do for you when it's structured correctly. It's not just something where you're able to say, oh, well, I really don't care. It's like when I die, like say, whoever takes care of it, okay, they take care of it. I'm like, no, there's much more. You can be using it for your practice to be able to leverage that money, pay yourself back for your real estate investments. You want to be able to have liquidity of cash quickly. And then knowing that when you take that money out, you know what non-direct recognition, non-direct recognition, that means the money that you say you had a $500,000 policy. $500,000 policy, you take out $400,000 because you need it for a property that you're going to buy. Instead of going to a bank to be able to get that loan, you're getting it out of your policy. You take it out 48 hours or so for the anti-money laundering to make sure that you're not just laundering money. When you take that out, you're making, depending on whatever the policy is, let's say an average, 5 to 6% on that money. Your policy is making that, right? You took that money out, so are you only making 5 to 6% on the 100,000 since you took out 400,000? No, you're making 5 to 6% on the full 500,000. So your money is making money while your money's making money. That's how you're able to really benefit. And a lot of people don't even understand that. They're thinking, I actually heard an example where somebody had a $100,000 policy, made an investment, took out, I think, maybe $80-something, $90,000. Made an investment. Investment was horrible. Lost his money. Lost his money in the investment. But because he did it from his policy instead of his bank account, his money continued to grow. His money continued to grow to replace that money, and it grew to the $100,000 again. Now, what kind of investment do you have that does that? Even when you make mistakes. So that's the best part. This is one of the things that is safe because it is your insurance policy. I don't know how many have you seen that have, gone bankrupt, even throughout history. So now, do you know that banks also do this? Why do you think you have little 18-year-olds that are now vice presidents at the bank that are, giving you your change? Because a vice president is the lowest role that you can have at a bank. to be able to put an insurance policy on. So they have an insurance policy on all their employees. Because now are those employees really benefiting from why they have insurance policies on them? Like, but the bank is, because the bank knows where to put money in it. It's not in another bank. You don't see Chase putting it in more bank in one of their own policies or one of their own money markets or anything like that. They're doing it in an insurance policy because they know they have a guaranteed return or rate of return. So there's that. Historical deals. I mean, we've seen this. Beautiful examples of why this stood this test of time. I mean, this is everything that's going on over 50 years. This is what's gotten us out of so many different, it has not fallen apart. So the insurance company loophole. The technique is legal. In advance of a loophole, Congress exempted insurance companies from taxes if they collected less than $350,000 in premiums. But Congress did not limit how much in assets these insurance companies could own. And this is how they're able to do this, and they're free of taxes. So the companies simply collect a small amount of premium for a small amount of insurance, but they set aside as reserves far more money than they would ever need to pay claims and invest that money tax-free. All about what can you do tax-free. Not a loophole, it's just information. So from billionaires, I mean, obviously, if billionaires are buying life insurance, I would model those that have proven their success. So definitely, if that's one of the things, I would follow what they're doing. So, you know, he actually bought himself his own insurance company because he was making so much money from that he has it. In fact, that's actually where I have my insurance policy for my license, is under the Warren Buffett's insurance company, Viper. So, frequency when talking about the benefits of this. So this is a little bit more going into the information of why this is important, more examples. I think we're pretty much understanding of why they're doing it, why we're making money, why it's a safe investment, and why you should be able to do it as well for yourself. Why are we letting others benefit when you have the same tools accessible? It's just knowledge and implementing. What is it? Having knowledge is great, but being able to implement it, that becomes a superpower. It has to be. So the key is the design. You want to set up something so it's setting you up, creating that blueprint for success. And for that, there's nothing retail, mutuality wins. And obviously don't try to wing it, because I heard a lot of people, but I saw it on TikTok. I can just go buy it. And it's like, you have to structure it a certain way. I have seen a lot of people that they were just buying policies and trying to do it, and like, you have to do a single pay so that way you're able to do it. And then there's, so go with someone that's actually done it. That's why it's so important to have a coach, to have some mentor, and to have a financial planner that's been doing it for so many times for other people. So why wing it? Now we focus on the income and what it is that you're doing and how you're bringing in your money. And we're going to give you different ideas on, besides the way that you're bringing it in, how to be able to classify it so that way not much of it is coming out. So it's, how are you describing it, how it is that it's being laid out. Annuities are also an example of another tool, another way to be able to use it as well. And so, you never had to run out of money. I definitely believe this is, I think we're all very capable of this and implementing this into your mindset. We may not have all been raised with that. You can have whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. Yes, honey, money's there for you. And, I didn't have that upbringing, and lack was definitely instilled in me. But I understand now, lack is the illusion. Abundance abounds. And there's no reason why you should be left out of the money game when it's just an exchange of energy. You're already doing great work. Why not get paid for it, and why not keep the money that you already have? And let that be the legacy, that you're going to be able to show a financial blueprint for your children, for them to be able to see it. Your kids can have these policies already set up so that when they're going to college, they don't have to worry about, oh my goodness, I have to get a full ride because if not, my parents are not going to be able to. No. they will have their full ride from themselves because their parents set them up that way. They will be able to live the life and show it to their others, and you know what? Inspire their friends to be able to show why they have a trust. And then this is where trust is the trust, but this is a very key tool. Now, I'm not a lawyer, he's not a lawyer, but we work with lawyers because, of course, this is so crucial as to one of the aspects of how to really take it one step further. Now you understand how to be able to keep that money, how to be able to make it grow, how to be able to have access to it. How many people say, oh yeah, put it in a 401k, where you're not allowed to touch it until you're like 50, you're 60, you're 30. You know, so this is somewhere where you're able to access it, you have anonymity from your money. So in other words, people aren't just trying to attack you to be able to get your hard-earned money. So this is another one to be able to understand a little bit more of why this is such a powerful tool. This is a trust that's also set up, and it is another aspect to be able to really get, and please feel free to, this is in the tax code, so this is basically to be able to show you how it is that you're able to be completely how can I say it? To be more protected, not only protected financially, but really from your name, to be any type of lawsuits or anything like that. I know a lot of the doctors in the room, I've been to big conventions where like, oh, I love my trust, I have my trust. I don't even have malpractice suit. I have my practice in the trust. I'm like, ooh, I think that was a mic drop. Everybody was like, wait, no, you don't even have malpractice insurance. That's how trusted you are in your trust. So that's another aspect as well. We'll be able to give you a little bit more about that, but these are the assets that you'd be able to put in there, and then it will be giving you a lot of the ability to be able to move from taxable, non-taxable events. So I think that's a big thing. Things that you would purchase from a trust that's created, you would be able to control everything and be able to control it without having to lose hope. You control everything while owning nothing. That's the big thing. Because when you come down to it, what's really important? That you own this thing, or that you're able to control what it is that it does. They can't come after you. You don't own it. So these are the capital gains that are excluded. These are all inside the tax code. This is where they're playing with these rules and regulations, the ones that we didn't get the handbook for when we went to school. So if you want to be able to take a shot of that as well, feel free, because as you're speaking, when you do get to at the end, you're going to have a QR code where you can actually book the time. It's going to be so valuable to speak to Chris Gandy. He is a wonderful resource to be able to really enlighten, open up your mind to be able to see some of these aspects of how this can work for you, for your family, for your legacy. So this is the difference between the trust itself. There are so many trusts, like, oh, I have a trust, I have one, that it's like, yeah, and there's beneficiaries, and then, like we have to do distribution. But then every time you do a distribution, you're actually creating a taxable event. This is one way where you wouldn't have to create that, and that's eliminated. So this is why it's important to find out these different keys on what makes these trusts different. So we have that. How am I in time? Okay. Yeah, I'm good. Good. All right. So then we've got the special spendthrift. This is what the benefits are, what it is, what it is that you're getting from it. Do you know, if you were to buy a life insurance policy, from a trust, like if your trust were to purchase that policy, you've now created an event where you're able to be, it's tax deductible. You can't make it tax deductible anywhere else. So that's another benefit as well.
Oh, there again.
So a life insurance policy usually is not, the premium is not tax deductible. But if you buy it from inside the policy, it becomes a tax deduction.
Well, inside the trust.
Inside the trust. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the trust would purchase it, basically. Is that me? No. Okay, so assets in the trust, zero capital gain. So this is why I'm talking about it. Like I said, I'm not an attorney. I'm not the one that would actually formulate this, but we work with them because we understand your money needs to be protected in so many different ways. And definitely this is one of the aspects of it. So what do all these people have in common? Do you think they have a trust? I think so too. Not only do they have a trust, but they're able to avoid so many taxes because they do everything without owning things. They do it from controlling things. So when you control things, now those entities, of course, aren't going to be taxed. So that's how Amazon does their business. That's why they're a big monster as they are, because what would happen if you were actually able to reinvest all the money that you make without having to pay anything to Uncle Sam? We're just trying to do it as limited as possible so that you can still reap most of those benefits. They're know their money and their assets. This is very true. Like I say, it's just knowing the information of the game. So from what I've said right now, just to kind of get a little aspect, was it stuff that you've already heard before? You're like, oh, I already have that, this is all old news. Or did I bring something new to the table? Any hands up in the air maybe? Get a visual, give me a little warm fuzzy here, come on now. Okay. So there's a little bit of something. If anything, if it's even planting the seed of, let me look it up, that's enough. That's enough to change the trajectory of your financial life, of the legacy that you have, and even inspiring someone else that you happen to now even utter a little bit of this to someone else, you now will have that ripple effect. So definitely this is where I was able to kind of get through this a little bit quicker, I guess. So don't wait. You want to be able to protect what you've been able to do. This is going into it should give you a little drop-down menu. Please fill out that information. I'm going to be able to get back to you. You're going to be able to reach out to me. You're going to be able to reach out to Chris. I'll hook it both up so both of us are in the communication, because of course I'm on the insurance side, he's on the financial benefit side, being able to give you other different ideas and just any questions whatsoever, even if it's not to go full through it, definitely it's something worth at least the info. But I will take, now that I was able to express this part, just a quick moment on Top Doc. Okay, great. So with Top Doc Clinics, of course, I think that was a big thing. Is Top Doctor Magazine was one of the ways that it was presented to me. I had a pharmaceutical sales background, but it was funny because what I thought I was up-leveling at work back in 2019, trying to help the company, it was a huge Fortune 500 company. I actually up-leveled myself out of the job because I started meditating and doing all this self-development, and it just, when you grow so much so quickly and you realize there's certain things that you're not aligned with, then that's why they're not meant for you. So when you start listening to that inner guidance, that's when these opportunities are being presented to you. So I realized that there is no coincidence that I am here. I'm very grateful for this opportunity to even be on stage right now and be able to speak about this. I'm very passionate about the power that we all have inside of us to be able to live our best life, to be healthy. So I think that one of the big things is we've been taught to be distracted, sick, and poor. Because if you're distracted, you're not going to try and get better. If you're sick, then all you want to do is be well. But those were some of the big things. So for me, to be fit, to be focused and financially free, I feel like that's the trifecta right there. To be fit is not just physically, but it's our machinery. So it's what we need to be is financially, to be fit is really in our mind. It's emotionally, to be able to handle situations with other people, to really be able to elevate a situation, and because we're able to really carry that out to the world. So I really do appreciate this time to be able to express all of this. This has been like a huge passion of mine, to really let everyone know that they have everything that they need, and those tools and those resources are coming to you as you ask for it. So I hope that anything that I said today might impact you in any way. So I will ask Dr. Emily, because I think that was pretty much kind of got it all, eh? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have a slide with your contact info?
So I will give you my phone number. Please take this and please text me right now. Everybody grab their phones. Everybody grab their phones. Grab your phones, grab this, yeah. And you're gonna text this number, 786-901-1601. My pleasure would be to not only connect you with this information, but to connect you because we also have a clinic, which is Top Doc Clinic. It's at the Four Seasons, where we've combined biohacking and beautiful medicine. I'm a big biohacker. I believe that we have innate intelligence, that if we're able to really, hyperactive, focus that innate intelligence with different technology through cryo, through photobiomodulation, which is red light therapy, compression, all the different things. We have our own dentistry inside there too, so that I'm gonna be getting some advice from you because I realize a lot of this stuff, my goodness, we have our dentist chairs inside the Top Doc Clinic, so we're gonna be needing and implementing all this too. So please text me your name, your information, so that way I can send you some information and keep you up to date. We are going to all the medical conferences as well, so I'm so grateful for being part of this event because we want to see what the new technologies are, what are the new procedures, what are the things that are really elevating patient care, patient engagement, being able to see how you guys can be able to keep more money into your practices as well. So we are very medical focused, but very business focused as well, because when it comes down to it, this will carry around through all levels.
Give us your name one more time.
So it's Yeli Aguirre, Y-E-L-I, so it's Yelise, but I would not do that to you all. Okay, like I said, undercover Latina. My mom had 9 months to kill and she came out with a very long name. So it's Yeli, Y-E-L-I, and it's Aguirre, A-G-U-I-R-R-E, Top Doc Clinics and Top Doc Magazine, so Top Doctor Magazine. So those are the things that I'm associated, and of course, Midwest Legacy. So that is the insurance as well, because I am a life insurance agent, because I am, like I said, I want to be able to give that power back of knowledge in the financial world. So thank you again, Emily, so much for this event.